But my mom, like all mothers, she ran the family. We kids were home, and my mother would be busy doing her thing, and one day she puts her hand in a pail of water, and she calls the kids around her and says, let me show you something. So she puts her hand in a pail of water, and she starts stirring it, and we watch her stir it, and then one time she takes her hand out of the water, and the water goes back to its placid state. And she says, see, as long as you keep stirring the water, it'll move. Once you stop stirring the water, it won't move.
That simple lesson has kept Marty Silverman going all his remarkable life. Keep stirring the water. Anyone who's known Marty will agree that this is a man who dreams great dreams. But the dreams are only the beginning.
He's a bundle of energy. He's got lots of ideas. He is a visionary. He's someone that stays on top of it until it's completed.
Marty brings the special skill of having not just the means and the vision, but the will and the perseverance to get something done. And to me, that's been inspiring, and at the same time, it's been very motivating because we really started a project from nothing, and with his assistance and energy and guidance, we've been able to accomplish a lot in a very short period of time.
What they've accomplished with Marty's energy, guidance, and very generous contributions is something no one envisioned before. An international center for medicine, law, and education, right here in little old Albany, University Heights.
It really started out with Marty's trying to help the law school find 4 acres of property to do in addition to the law school. And after talking with not just the law school, but the Albany Medical Center and the Albany College of Pharmacy and the Sage Colleges, the executives from those institutions, Marty said, why don't you try to work together and find a way that you can do things together, perhaps more than you would be able to accomplish on your own. So that was kind of the seed and I think the incentive that our institutions had to really do things together.
My immediate reaction to upon meeting him was that first of all, he was a very nice man. I knew him at that point for not more than 2 or 3 minutes, and I felt as though I knew Marty for almost my whole life. And he also struck me as a brilliant man, exceptional mind, and a true visionary.
For me, Marty Silverman is one of those essential catalysts that any person, organization, community, region needs in order to clearly see what its future can hold.
And with all that, Marty wasn't done. Oh no. With his beloved University Heights well on its way, Marty had yet another vision. Albany Medical Center should become as internationally renowned as the Mayo Clinic. To accomplish this, Marty proposed the establishment of an annual monetary award, similar in scope to the Nobel Prize, to attract the best medical minds in the world. This required an extraordinary commitment.
We sat in my office and were talking about the final details. The conversation finally came down to Marty saying, Jim, if we do this, I want this to bring credit to the medical center and then also to the capital region. He was very, very clear about those 2 goals. When the discussion, which took probably a little over an hour, was finished, he put his head down, as Marty characteristically does sometimes, and thought, and he brought his head up with that little twinkle in his eye and said, let's do it. Let's do it. And we did it. Those few words, a commitment of $50 million to award the prize over the next 100 years.
My mom used to say, the wrong people had the money. Those who have it, they don't know what to do with it. Those who don't have it, we wouldn't know what to do with it.
Marty has touched the capital region in many other ways, too.
Well, Marty called me one day and he suggested that it was an embarrassment to have this airport in the capital city. And indeed, he was bringing Henry Kissinger to Albany to speak at the Albany Law School commencement. And he said, John, we can't have him come into the Albany County Airport. He said, we have to have an international airport. And like everything Marty suggests, he suggests it, but it has a way of taking on a life of its own. And we agreed. The board of the authority agreed wholeheartedly that it should be the Albany International Airport. Marty suggested it, and it happened, and it was just that simple.
Several years ago, our community had a pretty poor self-concept. I think we weren't thinking very much of ourselves. And gratefully, some things have happened to change that. And one of those things was Marty Silverman. And I think people began to feel that if this gentleman who, left this region a long time ago still wanted to come back here and wanted to contribute his energy and his commitment and his resources and his dreams for this region, then, hey, we must be a pretty good place.
Marty helps us see even a greater vision and helps us reach a little higher and have even more sense of what the possibilities are. So he really holds us to a higher standard and causes us to work even harder to achieve that vision.
Perhaps Marty gets his persistence from something his mother told him many years ago.
But I got to be about 15 years old, and my mother took me aside, and she told me, if it is to be, it's up to me. Anything I do, I couldn't depend on them. They couldn't help me. I couldn't depend on anybody. If I was going to make something out of myself, it had to be within me. And so if it was to be, it was going to be up to me.
Marty never forgot that. He regularly gives out $2 bills with his mother's simple lesson printed on the back.
And explain to them, as long as they carry this $2 bill, they will never be broke. And if they turn the bill on its back and read what it says, as long as they do what it says on the back of that bill, they will succeed.
No matter what you accomplish in life, great or small, in the end you are measured by your friends. And Marty Silverman has lots of friends.
Well, that's certainly an honor to be considered a friend of Marty Silverman's, a big honor, because Marty is a fellow who never forgot where he came from. He's never forgotten the fact that he was part of the greatest generation. In fact, he was a hero in World War II, and he's never forgotten his military service and what that meant to the country. But I think the most important thing about Marty Silverman is he always remembers where he came from, and he always wants to give back.
We've had dinner with him many times at Jack's, and he always has calf's liver, and I have calf's liver, and my son has something else, and he's one of our favorite friends. Not because of what he gives, but how he cares. That's the difference. It's not just giving money, but he really cares about people.
I'd had some knee surgery, and I met him in New York City for dinner one evening, limping with a cane, and he said, "That cane's too tall, much too tall, it's not right for you." Darned if the next time I met him, he had a cane that could adjust, and he gave me a beautiful green cane that was adjustable, and every time I see him, do you have it at the right height?
From dear friends to business partners to just about anyone who's ever met him, mention Marty Silverman, and you'll learn what a special person this man is.
What amazes me in Marty Silverman is his energy for his age, and he's futuristic. He's not thinking about, what he's accomplished. He's thinking about what he still wants to accomplish, and he wants to create a better Albany, a better capital region for all of us. And I think having someone like Marty as a catalyst really energizes all of us.
He's absolutely irrepressible. When he has an idea or he feels that something can be done, he's tireless. He puts us all to shame with his energy and how much he's willing to put into getting this done. And if you look at everything he's done in the region, it's not about him. It's about achieving a vision. It's not about achieving something that's just for himself. It's what he believes can happen, and then that just takes hold of all of us.
He has the experience of a 90-year-old and the vision of a 20-year-old, and when you combine that, you have dynamics that are just unstoppable.
He has a little twinkle in his eye that kind of surprises you when you meet him, but it's just such a pleasure. He was here just on April 30th for our summit in Tech Valley, and he came to meet Tom Brokaw. And it was so exciting for him because he's of that greatest generation. He really enjoyed meeting Tom and having an opportunity to talk with him a little bit. It was great to watch.
I can point to not more than 3 or 4 people that I would say have truly made a difference, that stand out, and Marty, without a doubt, is one. I feel very fortunate, number one, to be in Albany, to have had a chance to come to Albany, and two, to have a chance to meet somebody like Marty Silverman. He's a great guy.
He's a mensch.
I love it.